Hi, I'm Sarah from Inside Out. Today I'm going to talk about energy toning tapping and how this can boost our immune systems. So emotional freedom technique or tapping is an evidence-based therapeutic method with over 100 research studies demonstrating its effectiveness. And its effectiveness for anxiety, depression, phobias and PTSD particularly are well established by the research. And among the many demonstrated physical and psychological benefits of tapping, it is really good for our immune systems. So this video will show you the tapping points I use with clients as an EFT practitioner and how you can use these to do tapping for yourself at home and give your immune system a boost at the same time. First, I just want to tell you about a couple of studies that found tapping beneficial to our immune systems. The first is about how EFT is an epigenetic intervention, which means it can actually turn our genes on and off, transforming us right down at the most basic cellular level of functioning. Researchers are now working on measuring exactly which genes are affected by tapping. Well-known energy psychology researcher Dawson Church studied EFT in veterans with post-traumatic stress disorder in 2015 and discovered changes in key genes. Inflammation markers were dialed down and immunity markers were dialed up. In 2016, another researcher, Marjorie Maharaj, found EFT produced changes in the expression of 72 different genes. Among the functions of the genes affected were suppression of cancer tumors, protection against the sun's ultraviolet radiation, type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance, immunity from opportunistic infections, antiviral activity, synaptic connectivity between neurons, that's in the brain, creation of both red and white blood cells, enhancement of male fertility, building white matter in the brain, metabolic regulation, neuroplasticity, strengthening cell membranes, and reducing oxidative stress. The other study I want to tell you about is in 2018, so quite recent. Another known energy psychology researcher, Peter Stapleton, and Dawson Church and a few others further researched the physiological effects of EFT. They measured across a range of body systems. Key results were shown in the attached diagram to this post. The endocrine system, measured by cortisol, was down 37%, blood pressure was down 8%, and the immune system, measured by what is called Sig-A, was up a whopping 113%, and that's the diagram that you can see. The study concluded that it adds to the body of literature suggesting that EFT is associated with multi-dimensional improvements across a spectrum of physiological systems. Just for your interest, the second aim of the study was to measure psychological symptoms, and significant declines were found in anxiety, 40%, depression, 35%, post-traumatic stress disorder, 32%, pain, 57%, cravings, 74%, in line with other studies on these topics. Now I want to talk to you about energy toning tapping. It's really casual tapping that you can do for yourself. There's no have-tos regarding the points you need to tap on or the words you need to say. In fact, no words are necessary at all, just some tapping on the points that you want to tap. And this will help you to tone and balance your whole energy system, sending a message to your body physiology and calming it down. As we all know, a lot of sickness and disease is stress-related, and this taps into your body physiology, just toning it and calming it right down. So the basic tapping points are as follows. Just losing my laptop here a little bit. So I'm just going to rebalance a bit there. Okay, so the first one is up right up on top of the head. So straight up from the top of your ears is the first point. And the next point is just sort of on the edge of the eyebrow. Now, that front edge, you can tap on either side or you can tap both at the same time. It's entirely up to you. The next point is just out to the side of eye on the bone there. And then another point is down underneath the eye, just on that cheekbone sitting underneath. And then another point is down underneath the nose, so just between the nose and the upper lip. And then the next point is in that crevice in your chin. That's easy to find. And then the next point is actually just sits down from your collarbone. So if you actually just tap with your whole hand across that area, then you can actually sort of get both of them at the same time. And the next one is on the nipple line or the bra line under the arm. And then the next two are on the top of the wrist, about 3 fingers up from where the wrist creases, so about where your watch sits, and then we just flip it over and it's on the other side as well. Now when you're doing energy toning tapping, you don't need to remember all of those points. You just need to find ones that you're comfortable with and tap on those. And it may even be one. You might just like to tap here, and you might just do it for a few minutes. So the trick to energy toning tapping is that you actually just attach it to a daily function that, you can just get in the habit of tapping when you're doing that thing. So it might be, for example, that you're boiling the jug. So every time you go to boil the jug, you just remember to do some tapping while you're waiting for it. Perhaps you're sitting on the loo, something we all have to do. Maybe you're talking on the phone. Maybe you're sitting at a traffic light in a queue. This is the other tapping point that I didn't actually show you, which is kind of where we start with a setup statement. But again, it can just be used as a general tapping point. So it's the karate chop point. So you might be sitting at the traffic lights. You might be standing in a queue. So it's really good to develop a habit that when you do that particular thing, you just get in the habit of doing some tapping at the same time. Now, one of the things that you can do instead of tapping, if you want to be a little bit more discreet, is there are 2 other ways that you can do this. Now, one is finger tapping. So on either side, I'll just go up close to the camera here, of your thumb and every finger, well, actually not the ring finger, but it's easy just to remember every finger, just on the side of the nail, if you just do a very gentle squeeze, then this is also tapping points, acupressure points. And again, it's just a very gentle squeeze. So if for any reason you find that this kind of tapping is just too abrasive or too harsh or too obvious, perhaps you want to be discreet about your tapping, you're in a public place or whatever, you can just simply do some gentle squeezes on your fingers and thumb. And again, it doesn't matter which ones you do. You might have one in particular that you like, so you just do that one. It really doesn't matter. You don't have to do all of them. There's really no rules about this. And then one other technique that you can use if you, again, find that the tapping is too abrasive or too obvious, is that you can just do a hold and breathe technique. And that's where you're just actually placing your hand on one or more or different tapping points, and you're just simply taking a breath and a nice long exhale. And then you might put your hand on another tapping point, or you might stay on the same one. And another breathe. And a nice long exhale. And the trick is to just exhale nice and long and slow and make the exhale longer than the inhale, and just exhale quite strongly as if you were actually exhaling out through a straw. Okay, so those are the tapping points and some ways in which you can use it in your day-to-day life. And then the last thing I would like to tell you about is that you actually could give your immune system a really good boost with tapping if you did tapping for about an hour while, for example, you're watching a TV program. If you're watching TV, you can easily just be tapping again. You could just find one point, and when you get a bit tired of that point, you could just do another point and just watch your way through a program tapping at the same time. And this is going to give you a really good boost to your immune system. So you're feeling like you want to do that for yourself, then give yourself the gift of tapping while you watch some TV. So have a go at building some tapping into your life. It's pretty easy to do, you have to admit, and it's hugely beneficial for your immune system. And you can do it anytime, anywhere, even if you just do it discreetly. Thanks.